And I think we are live now. I am Daryl Sansevero, the Vice President of Sales and Exhibitor Experience for the show. And this is The Talk. And I am honored to have with me this evening, Gary Leeds of Hear This, one of our exhibitors for the show 2024. I've met Gary before, and I'll tell you what he has coming to the show this year is nothing short of spectacular. Gary's business is here in Orange County, and he's very, very particular and specific about the things that he represents. And so I'm going to have him introduce himself and maybe start off and tell us a little bit about yourself, Gary, and how you got started in this business, if you would.
I'm happy to. Thank you, Daryl. Look, before we get started, let me thank you, Emiko, and the entire The Show team for putting on this casting, but also for putting on the show. And I also want to thank you guys because the last time I went to a show, I had to go all the way to Munich, Germany. So I think if I was a little fitter, I think I could walk over to the venue. So, but I'll drive. Anyway, you guys are terrific. Thanks for hosting this. LA is one of the most dynamic high performance audio markets in the world, and we deserve a world-class show, and we appreciate you guys putting it on. So we're very excited to be there. How did I get started? Well, dates back to the early 1970s, unfortunately. The little gray-haired wisdom of a young guy who was impassioned by music and by sound, and figured out he had a little bit of a knack for plugging wires into different parts, and viola some sound came out. But really for me, the big breakthrough came through in 1974 when I traveled into New York City from New Jersey, went across the Hudson and walked myself into what was at the time the greatest high performance audio store of its time, and I still think one of the greatest of all time, Lyric Hi-Fi in New York City. And there was what we would call a brand maker, a guy named Mike Kay, who owned this store and was responsible for launching Mark Levinson, Conrad Johnson, Audio Research, Infinity, Magnaplanar, and on and on. And he saw a young guy with a spark in his eye, and he had a reputation for being a gruff dude. But for some reason, he took a shine to me and said, "Okay, Gary," in his Greek accent, I'm going to show you what this is all about, so you can get started on the right foot." So Mike was like a second dad to me, a mentor. The New York City was exciting. I think I probably lost about $50 a week going to work there, because by the time I paid the tolls or paid the train, bought a $10 hamburger, and maybe got a parking ticket, I think I was underwater. But the education was invaluable, and that passion has stayed with me for nearly 50 years. So a couple of years back, after launching a high-end streaming speaker company with my sons during COVID, they decided they wanted to take that forward on their own, and they wanted to let dear old dad get back to his passion for the big rig 2-channel audio systems with tubes and turntables and panel speakers and the like. And so we lovingly went our own ways, and I started Hear This. And we're having an absolute blast growing the company. We represent some really great brands from around the world, mainly from Europe, but one big brand from Hong Kong called Westminster Lab that has these groundbreaking little Class A amplifiers that you can actually pick up in one hand. They're about 38 pounds each, and they're setting the world on fire. And then more recently, we picked up a really amazing tube product line from Serbia called Trafomatic Audio.
And they are beautiful.
Really cool looking amazing sounding gear. Brilliant guy named Sasa Kosick. I just spent a bunch of time with him in Munich, and he's just doing outer worldly stuff with tube circuits. So everything from pure single-ended 300B amplifiers to powerful push-pull amplifiers that sound single-ended. And so kind of here this knack is to find these gem companies that are not absolute secrets, but have been around for a while, and but not in the U.S.
I can see from your portfolio, you go off the beaten path and find the good stuff.
100%. So we're having a great time doing that. And at the show this year, we have 3 suites with you guys. We have a big suite downstairs, one of the Bristol rooms, right, with a long-term friend and colleague of mine, Ed Siderio at the Audio Association, who is for the second year bringing the latest generation of Evolution acoustic speakers built by hand in San Diego by Kevin Malgren. And these are astonishing speakers, and the entire front end of the electronics is going to be driven by Westminster.
That's awesome.
And
I heard those speakers last year at the show. I mean, amazing.
They're astonishing.
That was one of the few rooms I got. So I was working last year. I was a volunteer before I had this role. And that was one of the few rooms that I had time to go visit. And it was spectacular. So.
So we're very honored to be there. Last year, they're with Hervé Delatraz from the great Dart Seal Audio, who I know for years, but Ed got a taste of the Westminster thing, and we got together, and so we have the privilege of being there. And he's going to be spinning tons of analog. He'll have the DS Audio reference optical cartridge. He'll be playing some mono recordings, which is really cool. On the big Wave Kinetics NVS direct drive turntables. It's just going to be spectacular, and we're going to make the first showing of the Westminster monologue phono stage as well as the amps and the preamp. So that'll be a fun, big, heavy hitter room with those. And then with my partner Colin King of Gestalt Audio, he's my partner in Traffimatic. We're going to have 2 rooms with the brilliant Wolfgang Lange speakers from Germany.
Talk about beautiful. I saw the wood, the craftsmanship. I mean, those things are gorgeous.
And again, Wolf is one of those artisanal guys in southern Germany in the woods. He's been building speakers for 40 years using field coil technology. Right. But in this particular model that we're going to show, it's combined with air motion transformer, mid-range, high-end in a dipole configuration with a sealed 12-inch field coil paper woofer. And everybody looks at this and so unbelievable. And they all look at it and say, how can this work? And you turn it on and it's just magic. We'll have that in one room. And then for the first time, we're showing Wolf's stand mount monitor in the other room. And that'll all be powered by different configurations of Traffimatic electronics. One room will be digital. The other room will be pure analog. Nice. So, and we're going to be going back and forth, and I'm sure the guys who want to hear vinyl will say, let me hear that. And we'll keep the fight going about which is better, analog or digital.
The merits, right? I mean,
so it's all right. We love them both. Right. I'm more of a little digitally oriented. Colin's 100% vinyl guy. So we keep it going, and we're going to be competing with one another. So it should be fun.
I love it.
Yeah. So the exciting thing is that a bunch of the things we're bringing are never seen before. Versions of the various product lines, and it should give a really exciting mix. And then, of course, we know many of the other contributors and exhibitors that are going to be there. Many of them are our friends and colleagues, and frankly, many of them have. They have gear we love.
Right. There's enough for everybody. you know, I saw that last year at the show, and I may have mentioned this to you. I was in the elevator heading up to the third floor to help somebody out, and a guy's in the elevator talking about some crazy unicorn cable, and I'm like, "There's no way." He's like, "Do you know uh, who are your dealers in the area? Maybe we can get one of these." And the guy
Yep.
that was standing there in the elevator with me, it was like I think it was like a BNC or something really unusual. And he's
Something
like, "Oh
funky.
yeah,
Yeah.
come on up. I got you covered." And so I do love the camaraderie among exhibitors.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Look, it's a very competitive industry. There's a lot of product out there, but what's nice about the show is that the show is big enough to see a lot of variety, but it's also, I mean, you go to Munich, you could take the full 4 days and not see everything.
Wow.
But here we have, 100-ish exhibitors and some of the best stuff in the world. And I know my friend Damon von Schweikert will be there this year with the Ultra 7 flagships, with
Yes.
two of the Shockwave subs doing room cancellation. I know there's going to be some Magico, the new S5, which everybody's buzzing about. And then, as I said, Ed speakers are there. And I know Ken Songer will be there with his super cool full range field coils. Um, it's there's something for everybody. Let's just say that.
I can tell
Um,
you, we're excited to have these some world premieres, like you mentioned, and
yep,
then some are North American premieres where on the other side of the world in Germany, some equipment was shown, but we have some first here in Costa Mesa coming up, and
yep.
that really that creates a buzz for us, and so naturally
Well,
we're excited about that.
I know where I'm doing my big launches. I'm doing it right
Yes,
down the road, right here in Orange County for my LA buddies.
awesome.
Um, I can't wait to do that. There's something about these shows, these regional shows that are well organized like yours, that
Thank you.
brings out the best in people, and the pressure is lower. The camaraderie is higher. The people who come and visit are pretty serious about checking out what's new, and it's a great opportunity for us as representatives of some great factories to show our stuff and, if not, sell something, at least get some great feedback on what
Absolutely.
people think about our new offer.
Absolutely.
Um, so it's kind of like that. And Orange County's, I have a customer coming in from Denver. He said, should I come? I said,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
if you can get a flight into John Wayne, there's nothing easier. The
Right,
venue's
right
the
there. Yep.
venue's 10-minute Uber ride away. We've got some great restaurants and food. The only thing we can't promise in June is a lot of sun, right? June gloom.
Right, a little
But
bit. It looks pretty nice outside today. We've got
no, the
yeah,
afternoon it's popping. So I'm figuring by the weekend,
yeah.
I like a little cloudy, Daryl, actually, to be
Okay.
selfish about it.
All right, all right.
Because then more people come to the show because they're like, I'm not going to go to the beach. I'm
Not
going to
going to
go
the
hear,
beach.
yeah, I'll
Exactly,
go hear some audio, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
not a
Daryl,
bad
what
place to
about?
visit, right? When people
Yeah,
coming in from out of town, you're going to Newport Beach.
yeah,
And that, this year, Gary, we have, you probably saw, we have a family pass.
I did
There,
see that.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
something I describe our show as like there's amusement parks and there's Disneyland, and Disneyland has that little bit of magic.
Yep.
Our show is a little different in terms. We're a family show. I've said this on a number of my interviews like this. Is I've been going with my daughter since she was like 3. I always mention this because it's dear. This show is dear to before I worked here.
Right.
I visit like for over a decade and
Yeah.
brought my child with me. Now she's a musician.
I
Now she's
love
got
it.
a tube amplifier in her bedroom at age
Oh,
17.
no, no kidding. Oh,
Yeah,
no. All right. You made an audio file out of her.
yeah,
Yeah, I love it. And she's, of course, music first, and
yeah.
Emiko's a musician. And
Great.
do you have headphones going on this
We
year at the
do, we
show?
do. And this year it's going to be a little different. Thanks for asking. We have the Headphonium and the Vinylonium.
Yep.
Now we've kind of split them. Vinyl's going to be in the ballroom, Pacific Ballrooms
Right.
downstairs. all the record vendors, all the record cleaners, guys that actually retip high-end styluses, which is like a
Oh, I
dying.
love that.
Yeah,
Yep.
love that. And then Headphonium is going to, instead of being just it's going to be the Headphonium Lounge, like a gallery where it's more of a lounge type setting than kind of formatted booth. So it's
Well, I love that. Just to make a little pitch, we've gotten here. This has gotten heavily into Ed-Fi
nice.
because Sasa makes what we think is, if not the finest, among the finest headphone amplifiers in the world. It's called the Primavera. And then he's got two other models, the Head 2 Special Edition. And so all of a sudden, we've gotten kind of hooked on Head-Fi, and we'll have some exciting announcements to make.
Oh, cool.
But in Germany, I found the headphone that I want to bring to the US because
we're ready.
It's yeah, I mean, like, so next year, you know, and we got a like a Head-Fi guru who's getting me up to, with all my 2-channel stuff. I still have a little bit to learn. The Head-Fi world is really unique and cool.
Segment,
yeah, it's a cool segment, and we've got some exciting things coming ahead. So next year, if you'll have us,
well, we've also got the Vegas show that's going to be January 10th
right,
through 12th,
right, exactly.
And we've got this show again next year, so lots of opportunities to showcase those new cans. Yeah,
that's great. I'm excited about that. So, yeah, I mean, anything else we can tell you about? We're just hoping to make a contribution and connect with, a lot of good friends from the area, but also I've been talking to a number of people on the What's Best forum, where we're extremely active. And we've got guys coming in from as far away as Chicago.
Awesome.
So haven't gotten to New Yorker yet, which is my hometown, but
I can tell you there are new.
Are there New Yorkers? Yeah.
My phone and Emiko's phone, a few of us are linked up to the website so that we can take care of exhibitors and attendees. And so every time somebody logs in, my phone makes a beep. Every time somebody buys a ticket, my phone makes a different beep. And we can see where people are kind of logging in from on the websites. It does some analytics. There's people coming from out of the country. There are definitely people coming in from New York. I can tell you that.
Okay.
I see all the cities popping up, and I'm like, wow, this is
all
really
right.
good. People are truly coming from everywhere.
Well, very cool. I'll bring over some Shirley's bagels, and we'll see who's who.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm ready to compete with my boys from New York.
All right, that's true.
That's great. Anything? What else can we do? We're just thrilled.
I asked this question.
Please.
So you're the master of what you do, and you just mentioned the headphones and so forth. Where do you kind of see things going with the market? Like, what do you see as things that are trending, that are coming into focus now that maybe were not a focus maybe 5-10 years ago? Like, what's changed for you in your business?
Well, there's a couple really exciting trends. One is I've been a panel guy, a dipole planar guy, all the way back to Mike K and double stack quads and timpani 1D magnaplanars, KLH9 electrostats, you name it. Of course, the early infinities, the servostatics, the IRS. So planar drivers, electrostatic drivers, ribbon drivers, this is coming on very strong. My good buddy from What's Best, Ron Resnick, handling the Clarisis ribbons that are made in Vietnam but being represented and designed out of Europe. We just did a huge project with them. Six mono channels of amplification, active crossover, just like we used to do it in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the most fun I have had in a long time. So we're hoping to, do some more with that. Elsvox has a great ribbon out of Europe. T.H.E is making some very cool planers out of France, and of course,
and they're pretty.
Magnaplanars still going strong. So I see a lot happening with getting back to panel speakers is sort of a trend. I also see some very exciting advances in basic Conan Dome driver technology. So new lightweight diaphragms, smaller diameter tweeters with the ability for you to walk around the speaker, not change the von Schweikert's always been doing some cool thing with the rear radiating ribbon, the von Lange hybrids and the field coil speakers coming back. So for me, it's all about finding the right amplification and the right partnering equipment. So loudspeaker technology, this is the golden age all over again, and it's given consumers choices that they didn't have 5 years ago.
I love that. I was talking to Emiko about that. We have a lot. We're a lot of speakers this year. We have the Holy Trinity with us. We have Mr. von Schweikert himself speaking this year. Bill from Legacy will be.
Bill Duddle. Yeah, Bill Duddleston. Sure, and he's doing things with DSP and Heil air motion transformers and dipole designs himself, right?
I love the dipole design. And we have, of course, Andrew Jones is coming, and we have something called the Andrew Jones Experience also, where he'll be showcasing his various speakers that he's done design work on. Like you, I'm really a dipole guy. Going back to Bollinger Graebner, which I met
of course
Bollinger years ago. And he took that over to Wisdom Audio. I've tried the MBLs with their radial stroller. I'm kind of an unconventional driver kind of guy. I haven't dabbled much in the AMT stuff, but I'm fascinated by it. So.
I mean, 7 or 8 years ago, we were building big line arrays with 60-inch AMT dipoles. So I've been a fan. Actually, in the 70s, I sold the original ESS speakers. They were kind of funky, like a triangulated thing. So that's happening. The other thing is big is, as you know, streaming. Streaming the quality is getting better and better and better. Qobuz announced they're going to do Qobuz Direct in the later part of this year, which means you'll be able to use their native application, literally listen to Qobuz in your car, come in your house, hit the home button, and stream without going through a third-party app. So for me, I'm really excited about the user experience of native applications. Still, Roon and all these platforms are great, but you're going through a third party rather than the native kind of piece. So you have to go into an app to then go into an app. So I think that's going to be a continued trend. Digital. The stream, incredible. So
the displays are like, that's what I see trending is like all these streamers have like just the coolest displays. We have one of our big sponsors this year is WIM.
Man. I have a WIM Pro, believe it or not. I have one in my second system. $259 worth of love for this snobby audiophile.
Sure.
Right?
They're a software company. And
I know. I run it with digital out into my Lampezator DAC. And let me just jump in real quick, Daryl. I do want to say this is the West Coast premiere of the new Lampezator Poseidon DAC, which is the baby version of the Big Horizon. That's like the hot ticket.
Right.
It's half the price. And for me, it's about 80-90% of the performance.
Beautiful.
And it's spectacular. So that will be in our room with Trafomatic. I'm a huge fan of Lucas Schweikes from Poland and his groundbreaking work in tube DACs. And these are really cool. They're not these particular DACs, you don't have to use the super exotic, expensive tubes in them. And, they'll run 10,000 hours on a single set of tubes, but they give you a certain analog magic.
Yeah.
So
another thing, DACs are hot right now.
Super crazy.
And everybody's trying a little bit of everything. There's ladder DACs, and the chips are getting better from making.
They are. And we'll probably see the new MSB Cascade here that launched in Munich, and that stack is staggeringly good. So I'm really excited about what's happening in digital, and we actually import from a small manufacturer named Ars Machinee, a brilliant turntable. We only make about 25 a year.
Oh,
They're all hand built by the guy who's the machine maker, Rolf, and we're going to be showing that for the first time this year. So, yeah, I mean, analog's my first love, but I got to tell you, during the week, it's all digital.
yeah.
And then when I want to go for slow time, and my wife, she says, put the vinyl on. I don't want to run around. I don't want to do anything quick. I want to hear the vinyl.
That is one thing about vinyl is you put it on and some of those tracks that may not have been your favorite way back when, all of a sudden vinyl forces you to run the whole length of it, and you
That's
discover
right.
magical tracks you might not have listened to before. I love
Yep.
that about it. Yeah.
Now, Daryl, you can't get away with this. I heard a little secret that you make some pretty cool Pioneer reel-to-reel restos in your spare time. Is that true?
Help it. It is.
707s?
I 707s and 909s. I wanted those things since I was 12 years old.
Yep.
Now I'm doing some light manufacturing myself. So
yep.
I'm very, as the kind of exhibitor experience VP. I'm aligned with you guys. I'm on both sides. I'm actually making the stuff. I'm seeing what it takes to go through, anodizing and working with metal. And I have such an I always appreciated the equipment. Now that I'm making it myself, I have a really true appreciation.
All right. Well, do check out the Pioneer reel-to-reels from Daryl, because I've seen the pictures, and I have a Studer A80, but
nice.
My house is a little small in California because the real estate cost.
Yes.
So right now it's in storage because Deb's like, you are not putting that studio deck in my living room.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a half track high speed. I got some badass masters, but a little 707 with some 10-inch reels and some 1/4-inch tape. If she gets to pick the color, I'm good. Right, yes. I can get any color I want from you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so now you know how hardcore analog we are.
There's somebody in chat here saying one of those 909s will be mine before the year's up.
I love it.
You just got me a customer, I think.
Yep.
Thank you.
So one last thing, if I can, Daryl.
Sure.
My very dear departed friend Jonathan Tin, who was an icon in this industry for decades, at a Blue Light Audio. He's the founder of Evolution Acoustics, one of the two founders of Playback Designs, the founder of Wave Kinetics, turntables and vibration devices. Just an awesome guy, passed away suddenly. And so my buddies are carrying that forward with Evolution Acoustics, but Ed is going to have a special black, the first ever black Wave Kinetics NVS direct drive turntable with 2 Joel Duran tone arms on it, the big Toscas. Yeah. And it's going to be the Jonathan Tin Memorial Edition because they've never made a black one. And it's going to be an absolute showstopper. If you're an analog guy, you got to go to the Audio Association room and see the Jonathan Tin Memorial thing. So, a group of his buddies, we're all trying to sort of carry that forward. And Ed is the big guy carrying the torch. So, and of course, he's just in Anaheim, so we're both happy. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're real close.
And hear people caring for people's work. There's so many just pioneers that made exceptional equipment that have passed on. And I like to see when somebody's carrying forward people's body work. And
right. Well, for you, Daryl, I just want to say that Jonathan was the guy who resurrected reel-to-reel tape for the high-end world. He was the first guy bringing reel-to-reel recorders to the shows with masters and reminding people what these things were all about. And he did that. The first time he did that, it goes back at least 15 to 18 years, maybe more. And slowly but surely, people started bringing restored Studers, Stella Vox, whatever.
Right.
And now today, another exciting thing is we have like 4 manufacturers making original equipment, reel-to-reel decks. We have AAD from France. We have the guys from Spain that make those super artistic.
Crazy,
I forget. I forget the name of the company. Yeah. And so, and then the guys back east, United Home Audio, making their machines, and Greg Barron, and you'd be surprised how many audiophiles still have decks. Ron Resnick, my buddy up in Beverly Hills, he's got a Studer 80 deck. Every time I go there, we're playing with it.
Yeah.
So so it's from Sublime, from Weem, giving us this amazing streamer, and I understand. A friend of mine is one of their beta testers, David Blumenstein. He got his. They have a new super Weem. Have you heard of it? And I imagine they'll show one at your show.
You better believe it.
So I'm actually looking forward to seeing that myself. I might have to do a little trade-in.
You can walk right next door because it's going to be right next to Evolution.
Oh, isn't it really? They got a big room then, huh? All right. So us little 2-channel guys next to the multinationals.
Yeah. Something for everyone, right?
Something for everybody. Absolutely. So, it's going to be an amazing show all the way around.
Well, we're what are we here? It's the 3rd, so we're 4 days out. We're going to start the heavy lifting here this week and getting you guys all settled in.
Okay.
So I'll see you in a couple days, and everybody check out Hear This. Go visit Gary for the best of the best, and we'll see you all June 7th through 9th at the Hilton in Costa Mesa, and tickets are still available. I strongly suggest that you visit Gary's room, and I strongly suggest that you get your tickets now online. Last year, we had about 200 people lined up. We'll have more people checking people in this year, so it won't be as crazy. But get your tickets now and use code Exhibitor5 to get a discount on those tickets to go see Gary and all the other great exhibitors that we have this year. And the Vegas, again, is January 10th through 12th in Las Vegas, 2025.
So, Daryl, is that right after CES or right around the same time?
Day after, purposefully.
Okay, great. It's been years, so it'd be good to get back to Vegas.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for joining me, Gary.
Oh, my pleasure, Daryl. Thank you for everything. See you soon, buddy. Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.